Hi friends! In this video I'm going to share with you my recipe for banana cream cheese muffins, and I always have bananas on hand, but of course inevitably they tend to get overripe before we can eat them all. And so, you have the typical plain old banana bread that you can make, and I don't necessarily like to make that all the time. And this time around I had a lot of bananas that needed to get used up, but I didn't want to make just regular banana bread. And so I decided to try something a little different. So for this recipe, you're going to need 3 bananas, 3 overly ripe bananas, and you can double this recipe if you want to. And then of course you're going to mash them up. And I like to mash mine up really, really well. I know some people like to leave chunks when they mash up the bananas, but for me personally, I like to have them really well mashed up. And so you're going to mash up those 3 bananas, and then in a separate bowl, you're going to do 2 cups of flour, and then 3/4 cup of sugar, and then 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda. And then you're just going to, I just use a whisk and whisk that all together. And then for the wet ingredients, you need 2 eggs. And these are nice fresh eggs from my chickens. You might be able to hear the baby in the background. And so then you're going to add the 2 eggs to the banana mixture. And then here I'm adding 1/4 cup of whole fat yogurt. So a really nice, creamy whole fat yogurt. And then a couple of teaspoons of vanilla. And I never measure my vanilla. I always just wing it when I'm adding vanilla. And then you're going to want to do 6 tablespoons of melted butter. And I use unsalted butter. And then you're just going to whisk together all of the wet ingredients. And then add them to the dry ingredients. And one of my favorite things always is mixing the wet and the dry ingredients together when I'm baking. It's always been one of my favorite things. So you're just going to mix that together until it's all really well incorporated. And then for the cream cheese mixture, in the bowl of a stand mixer, you're going to add 5 ounces of room temperature cream cheese, 1 egg, and then 1/4 cup of sugar, and 2 tablespoons of flour. And you're going to mix this all up until it's nice and smooth. Now, if your cream cheese is too cold, it is going to get a little lumpy. And mine was room temperature, but I think it still needed to be a little bit warmer. And so I had tiny little bits of cream cheese in the mix, but honestly, it turned out just fine. And so here I'm adding some of the banana batter to the bottom of a muffin tin. And then I'm putting in some of the cream cheese mixture. And then on top of that, I will add a little bit more of the banana batter. And then these will go into the 350-degree oven until a toothpick inserted into the middle comes out clean. And then they're done. So I will share the recipe over on my website, so I will have that linked below in the description if you'd like to go and give this recipe a try. If you do, let me know how it turns out and if you liked it, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.